everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Madison Lee, and today we are going to be talking about some of the more quote-unquote difficult things to do in the beauty world, like eyebrows, a winged liner, and putting on your false lashes. I actually do two different techniques of winged eyeliner. I do a felt tip and I do a gel eyeliner. The fact that they look similar is truly a miracle. But you know, miracles happen sometimes, and thank God I caught it on camera. So if you want to see how I achieved this look, please feel free to keep watching. I post new videos every Saturday morning, and I will leave all the products that I use in the description box down below. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, comment down below what you want to see from me. Let's get started. Okay, so I went ahead and zoomed you guys in so that you get a closer look at what I'm about to do with my eyebrows. And these are the three main products that I'm going to be using with my eyebrows. This is just a concealer, the Anastasia Brow Definer in the shade Taupe, and the Dip Brow Gel also in the shade Taupe. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take the Brow Definer, and I'm just going to take this spoolie and brush my eyebrows upward. I try to get them done as little as possible, but whenever I see a stray hair, I always try to just pluck it so I don't have to keep getting them done, because it makes me nervous to get my eyebrows waxed. First thing I'm going to do is just take it right at this bottom line, and I'm just going to start using light strokes and create kind of a line underneath my eyebrow that is where my eyebrow will end, if that makes sense. And I just do it in slow little marks all the way down to my tail. And I usually will take my tail a little farther than what it is, just so it looks more natural. And then I'll go back up and I'll start lightly filling in the main part of my brow. If I'm being honest, my eyebrows are pretty easy to fill in. They're not very sparse. I usually use castor oil every night. I'll just take it on a spoolie and go through my eyebrows to keep them long. And that actually has made a big difference. I'm then just doing the same thing on the top, using small strokes, just filling out this top part, again all the way down to the tail of my brow, and then I'll go back in and brush through them, see if there's any bald spots. I always make sure in this front area right here, I'm not even touching it right there. I'm very, very light because I don't want them to look blocky. I want them to look very natural. And then I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side. This side is a little bit harder because I have some bald areas up here. When it comes to having bald spots, the key to making them look natural and not like you just colored in your eyebrows is using these little tiny marks, kind of. They're supposed to mimic like hairs. Like, it's not supposed to look like you went like that and just drew them on. It's supposed to look like you have actual real hairs in there. Another important thing to remember, eyebrows are sisters, not twins. I'm then going to take the Anastasia Dip Brow Gel, and the only thing I don't like about this is it's very liquidy, so I always make sure I brush off a lot of the excess. And then I'm just going to lightly brush them upwards. I think that this just makes them stay in place, number one, and I think it makes them look a little more natural. And it's okay if you get some all down here because we haven't put any other makeup on yet, so it doesn't matter. We can just wipe that right off. Alright, the next step to doing my eyebrows is carving them out, and for that I am just using this Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, and I'm using it in the shade Honey. Sometimes I will use a shade that's lighter, sometimes I'll use my actual skin color. It just depends on the eye look. Today we're doing a wing, and it's going to be very simple up top, so I want to do something a little more natural. And I use two brushes to carve out my eyebrows, and that is the Luxie 221 Flat Definer and a BH Cosmetics 129 to buff it all out. Getting started, I'm just going to take some of this concealer onto the back of my hand and then dip my Luxie brush right in there. And I don't want it to be too like thick on there, so I kind of tap it out. And then I just go right under, I can't actually talk while I do this, but I'm going to go right under my brow and just slowly carve it out so you'll be able to see. And then after I get that initial line, I just take a little more concealer and slowly start dragging it down my eyelid. Now this is where this guy comes in. I'm just going to take this and lightly buff it out. And you don't want to be too rough because your eyelid is very sensitive skin. It's very thin, so just a light little buff, buff, buff. I kept feeling like I was forgetting something and now I remember what it was. So after I do this step, I always go in with my Precisely My Brow pencil from Benefit in the shade number 3. This is a more like really thin, like pointed brush. So then I'm just gonna go right where the concealer meets the eyebrow and make sure that there's no, like, that it's all just very smooth. And then since I'm going to go ahead and do the other eyebrow and it's going to take a little bit longer, I'm going to go ahead and set this using the Too Faced Peach Perfect powder. And I'm just going to set that with a Morphe E48 brush. And I'm just going to do the same thing on this eye. This brush like this, I'm just kind of tapping. And then I don't always do this, but sometimes I'll take just a little bit of that concealer and I'll match, or not match, but I'll carve out this part of my eyebrow right here. Just to make the tail sharp. For anyone wondering, I am left-handed, if that's why this looks a little bit different from normal beauty people that do makeup. Okay, now that we have our eyebrows done, I'm going to move on to my eyeshadow and eyeliner. Since I'm doing a wing liner and I want it to be kind of the main attention getter in this look, I'm going to be using the Tartelette palette. This is an all matte palette, and then I'm going to use a little bit of this KKW pigment in rose gold on my lid. Just a simple look, and then that way the wing is really what stands out. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go in with this Morphe M533 brush and go in with the shade Force of Nature. It is this one right here. Now I'm just going to take that all over this big fluffy brush and just put it all over the crease. This is one of those shades that doesn't really look like it would make a whole lot of a difference, but I like shades like this as a base because it kind of lays down the foundation of what you need. And for those of you who are even wondering, like, what is a crease? It's the area right here where your eye folds. Going in with a little bit smaller blending brush, this is the Morphe M535. I'm going to go in with the shade, a mixture of the shades Wanderer and Dreamer. Heavy on this one, light on this guy. And I'm just going to focus that kind of in the same spot, but more on the outer V and the outer crease, just to add a little more dimension. And then after I get it all good in there, I'll carry it over to the more inner corner of my eye. And then going back in with that first brush and first shade, I'm just going to make sure everything is blended and seamless. Okay, and then since I used a concealer color that was closer to my skin, I'm going to take this flat Morphe M208 brush and this white shade, Free Spirit. It's a matte white shade, and I'm just gonna take that right under my eyebrow, and I'm kind of being a little bit lighter with this because I don't want it to ruin my look. I'm gonna blend it out, don't worry, but I'm just gonna pack it originally right here and then blend it out. Okay, now that we have pretty much our base down, I'm gonna add a little bit of this KKW Rose Gold pigment, and I'm just gonna take that on my ring finger and just give it one of these. Looks like that. And just put it all over my lid. And it's gonna be a little messy at first, but I'm gonna go in and clean it up. And then I'm just going to go in using that same Force of Nature color with a little bit more of a defined brush. This is a BH Cosmetics number 5. I'm just going to use that to kind of make this look a little cleaner. Just kind of go right where it meets the matte, right over top. This is not meant to be like a very in-your-face lid color. It's just like a subtle shimmer to add some dimension. Okay, now moving on to the hard part, or the harder part, which is the winged eyeliner. There's really 2 ways to go about it in my book. I either do a felt tip eyeliner. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex Easy Glide Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner, or I will use a gel liner. This is the Maybelline Eye Studio in Blackest Black. In my opinion, I use this when I want a more blown out, kind of a smokier wing. I use this when I want a sharper, like, could cut a bitch kind of a wing. Sorry, I didn't mean to say the B word. Ugh, it just came out of my mouth. Sorry, Mom. Anyway, today I'm going to be doing a mixture of the two just so I can kind of show you the technique for both. I might even try to do one on this eye, one on this eye. I gotta go to work after this, and I have a meeting, so I hope they match. We'll see. So starting on this eye, I'm going to do a felt tip wing. So the way that I do this is I just start, I definitely can't talk while I do it, but I'm just going to start by doing a normal line across my eyelid. That's all I mean, just one little teeny line all the way across. And then now I kind of have to get closer to a mirror to do this part, but what I'm going to do next is I'm going to start here and I'm going to draw a line that I want the length of the majority of my wing, and I'm going to aim it to land slightly under my eyebrow. Just like that. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go to the end of this line, I'm going to go about this far in, and I'm just going to connect to here. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill this part in. Now we're starting to get the basic shape of the wing, but it's still not quite there. The next thing that I'm going to do is make this part more cohesive. So I'm going to take my eyeliner, the next part is this little guy right here. The reason that I leave that is because I don't want it to be so intense. I want it to look like almost like a flick. So what I'm going to do is just slowly start flicking in and outward until I get that desired flick look. And there you have it. That's pretty much, I'm okay with this. I feel good about this because, let me tell you, you only need your winged eyeliner to look about a 6, maybe even a 5.5. Between a 5 and a 7 out of 10, because as soon as you pop that eyelash on, it's going to go up and it's going to look way better. So I'm content with this. I'm going to leave it, and then I'll do this eye with the other method. I'm really nervous these are not going to match. I literally have a meeting to go to in about an hour and a half, so wish me luck. So with using the gel eyeliner, I'm going to take a BH Cosmetics number 11 brush. This is a very thin, a very thin eyeliner brush. You can see like the tip of it even. How do I show this? It's very thin. And the first thing I'm going to do is just go in and I kind of just coat it. And then I'll like do like this on the sides. Can you see that? Like that, like wipe off the edges. And then kind of just do the same thing, start with a line. And for this one, I always think it's easier to start on the outer corner and go in. And then I'll usually flip the brush. The next thing I'm going to do is kind of the same thing with the felt tip. I'm just going to draw a line out. The only thing with this one, you have to be really careful. It is very easy to mess this part up. Like this part, that's not the hardest part. This part, I think this is the hardest part. So here we go. And then I'm just going to do the same thing. And then essentially I'm going to be doing just the same steps. The only difference is you're using a brush, not a felt tip liner. Okay, those are sisters, right? This eye looks a little wonky right now because I think this one looks a little bit better. So I'm going to fix this one. Yeah, those look similar. Okay, I feel good about those. I feel like they kind of match. They're like sisters. They're not quite twins. It's fine. Okay, the next step to this look is adding false eyelashes. And in my opinion, I think that's what makes it all kind of come together. So today I'm going to be using the Cocoa Lashes in the style Goddess. I'm going to also be showing you how to put on fake eyelashes. So get ready for that too. Whenever it comes to putting on fake eyelashes, I use three things. Tweezers, which they don't recommend using, but here I am. An actual lash applicator. I hate using this thing, but that's what they recommend you use. It's better for your eyes. And clear eyelash glue. This is just the Duo brush on adhesive. So the first step is coating your eyelashes with mascara and letting them dry. I'm just using whatever mascara. I don't even pay attention to it half the time. It's just whatever I have in my drawer and whatever I grab first. But I just give them a good coat. And then now getting out my lashes, I'm going to ever so gently lift the eyelashes off using my tweezers. And then I grab, once they get the edge off, I grab the whole thing and just pull them off. Now, the first thing that you should do is measure your eyelashes, make sure they're the right length. These are the right length for me. Sometimes if you need to cut them, always cut off. If you ever do need to cut these, always cut off of this end right here, the outer end, because it will look more natural when they go like this to here, rather than all of a sudden your eyelashes, you don't have any, and then they're long and puffy. So the first thing is obviously putting eyelash glue on them. I just brush on, can you see this? Yeah. I just brush on a coat of lash glue, and I let my lash glue, every time I buy a new lash glue, I'll open it and just let it sit for like 15 minutes, which sounds yucky and it looks yucky, but the tackier the glue, the easier it's going to be to put on your lashes. And then I normally will just kind of wave them like this and let the glue get tacky for about 10-15 seconds. It just depends. The tackier they are, the better, but the less you'll be able to maneuver them once you put them on your eyeball. So something to think about. I'm now gonna go ahead and put them on. So what I do is I always come from a angle like this, and I always try to aim with putting on the outer corner first and then manipulating the rest of it to fit. So I need a mirror a little bit closer to me. Here I go. I'm placing them more on the outer corner first. I'm not really focusing on the inner corner yet. And then I'm going to take these lash gripper boys. These are from Lily Lash. And I just go like this, and you just want to press your false lashes with your regular ones. And this is why I don't like these. I think these are so much easier to use, but you know, they're a little more dangerous, so just be conscientious of that. And then once you're comfortable with how your outer lash looks, you're going to go in and manipulate your inner lash. Press that together. I hope this all makes sense what I'm saying. And there you go. They're on. Not that hard. But I will tell you, 9 times out of 10, if this one goes on easy, this one is going to be a bear. So here we go. Another thing to keep in mind is make sure you're setting them on top of your eyelashes and not getting any of your eyelashes like stuck underneath them. And then the last step is I will normally take some mascara and I will just lightly touch right here so that it bonds my real eyelashes with the fake guys. Okay, so my eyes are pretty much done. I'm now going to zoom out and do the rest of my face pretty quick. Okay, so the rest of my face I'm going to kind of just speed through. I'm using the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. It's my favorite cheap face primer. And I was realizing when I was watching my other tutorial, I look like I am so rough on my skin, but I'm really not. Like, I feel like I do a very good job at being delicate with my skin, but I was watching my video, I was like, dang, I look like I am beating up my skin, but I'm not. I'm being gentle. For foundation, I'm using the Becca Skin Love Weightless Blur Foundation, and the way that I like to apply this is I use like a paintbrush type of brush, not to put it on, just to apply it to my face, because I don't like putting it on the back of my hand. I feel like I lose product. And I use like a pump and a half of this, depending on how my skin looks. My skin's okay today. I have one little problem guy right here. And then I am applying this with a brush today. I'm using the Sigma Flat Kabuki F80 brush. Now this is part to be wary of whenever you've already done your eyes and you've already done your eyebrows, so be careful of those boys. I like to use a lighter amount of this foundation when I'm going to be doing a heavy concealer day, which I'm doing today because my skin doesn't look bad, but my problem areas are especially problematic today. Okay, now that my foundation is on, I'm going to go in with concealer, and I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape today in the shade Light. It's a little bit lighter of a shade than I enjoy to use, but the one that I normally use I think is called Light Medium Neutral, Light Medium Warm, Light Medium, I don't know, but I'm out of it, so I'm just using this light one that I have. This concealer is not to be trifled with. It is so thick, so full coverage, so I try not to use too much unless I really need it. So right there, I'm just going to buffer that in right there and go a little bit down my nose. This is, again, the Morphe G40 brush, my favorite brush to apply concealer. Again, this is the part where you got to be a little bit careful since we've already done our eyes and our eyeliner. And I'll even go back in with the little teeny BH Cosmetics brush whenever I have to get up in here, because I don't want to mess up anything we've already done. And then I'm going to go ahead and set my under eyes and chin and everything with, again, that Too Faced Perfect Peach setting powder. I don't know why I couldn't talk there for a second. And I don't rub, I just lightly pat this in. I'm going in with an oldie but a goodie, the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. As you can see, it's well loved. I've hit pan on it, and I'm going to be going in with a Morphe M177 brush. going for a more all-over bronzy look today. Not really so much of a contour. If you ever find that your bronzer does look muddy, I just take my foundation brush, I don't put anything on it, and I just brush, like pat over the areas where things got a little crazy. Now for blush, again, an oldie but a goodie. This is the Milani Baked Blush in the shade Luminoso, and I'm going in with a Morphe E34 blush brush. And I'm taking it a little higher up than I normally do today. It's cold outside finally, so I'm going for that like, when I was outside it was so cold kind of a look. I don't know why I made that face. For highlight, it's an oldie but a goodie kind of a day. I'm going in with Prosecco Pop. This is one of the Jaclyn Hill split pans. And of course I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills A23 brush. And then to finish off my eyes, I'm going to go back in with that same color Force of Nature with the same BH Cosmetics number 5 brush. And just smoke out my lower lash line. I'm going to go in using a NYX eyeliner in the shade Light. This is like a nude eyeliner almost. And I think that nude and white eyeliners really help to just open up your eyes a little more. I like to use them, well, pretty much all the time, but especially when I do something a little bit heavier on top, like a wing or something dark. Then I'm just going to take some mascara and coat my bottom lashes. Alright, my last step today is to do my lips, and I'm going to be using 3 products, technically. First, I always go in with Aquaphor or some kind of a chapstick, because I don't like my lips to feel dry. And then I'm going to go in using this Palladio lip liner in the shade, it's either the shade, oh, it's Spice, I can see it. A lot of it is rubbed off. This is one of the first lip liners I ever got. I got it from Sally's. And whenever you do have Aquaphor on your lips, it does make things a little bit slippery, a little more difficult, so just be aware of that. Before I even go in with my liquid lipstick, I am just going to carve, whatever. Right here. I do this all the time. And then my last step is just to go in with the Candy K liquid lip. I would then normally set my face, but my setting spray is on the other side of my room, so I will do that later. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And there you have it. This is the finished look. I hope that it was easy to follow. I hope that it helped in your adventures of putting on eyeliner, eyebrows, and lashes. And I hope that you enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos like this, comment down below, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye. This is the excuse me, applying false lashes. I don't know why I said applicating. That is just wrong. Let me redo that. Zip, zip, zip. Was that better? Is that okay? I don't know. I'm like sweating. This is hot in here. This sweater is hot. Going in with a little bit smaller. Wow, what the heck? I feel like I'm constricting myself. I can't breathe. Dogs, stop fighting! Please. Dogs, stop. Hey, Dios mío. Okay, here. Okay, actually, no, you gotta get down. I'm so sorry. You're too wiggly. Too wiggly. Too wiggly. Okay, I didn't pull my eye. Who's proud? Me. Hi there, and welcome back to my channel. Hi there. Hello. Guten Tag. Hola. Konnichiwa. I don't know any more words. Okay. Bonjour. That's one. I look tall. Oh, I hate that. Yuck. Who am I?